Victoria Emerton, and welcome to Behind the Design, brought to you by Design in Mental Health, the leading in-person event connecting professionals from around the world who design, create, manage and deliver care in the built environment for mental health care. Design in Mental Health takes place in the UK each June and features a comprehensive programme of presentations, panels and workshops, a free-to-attend exhibition of specialist products and services, and the prestigious Design in Mental Health Awards. DesignInMentalHealth.com has all the information on the event dates, the programme details and how to book your event passes. So today I'm delighted to be joined by Sydney Harris, President of MindCareConnect, and Parker LaCombe, Vice President of MindCareConnect. Thank you very much for your time today and welcome to Behind the Design.
Excited to be here.
Excellent. So Sydney and Parker are delivering a workshop with the title Amplifying Lived Expertise with Co-Design, and we're going to be talking about that today. So to start off, why co-design? Why is this important to MCC?
Thank you, Victoria. I guess my question back to you is why not? People with lived experience have some of the most important feedback that designers, systems, programs, products could possibly hear from to make something better for the person that's going to be experiencing it. Throughout, I don't know, Parker and I met maybe 5 years ago, and she'll share her story in a second, but I'm not a person that's lived in an institution or been in a facility similar to one. And she has taught me so much on how important the space is and how important people and the systems are built for people with lived experience, and what it means to them. And without that connection to her, I don't think I would be sitting here today wanting to share that knowledge with anybody else. So my question is, why not? And it's needed. And so we should hear from everyone that touches the system in some form or fashion.
Thank you, Sydney. It's so interesting to me that this is one of the few industries that for so long has not valued our customer feedback the way that we should have. We're one of the few industries who's actually not been intentional in even collecting that feedback. And in some capacity, our perspective has been that our patients are too sick, too angry, too frustrated, too unwell to understand what we need. And that's simply not true. And so to have not included the voice of people who've actually received services inside of the facilities that we're designing, inside of the systems that we're designing, is just kind of, quite frankly, bonkers. It's wild that it's taken this long for us to be included in this conversation. And I am a person with lived experience. I'm a professional peer supporter. That's how I actually started in this work and where I met Sydney, which was, I think, back in 2018. Which is a really long time ago. I know. Anything pre-COVID feels very, very long in ancient times. And I am a person who has received services inside of inpatient settings. And I'm also a person who has delivered services inside of inpatient settings. And so what has been really cool to me and really important about lifting co-design specifically is oftentimes we do talk about this way of the relationship, where folks are learning from people with lived experience finally. And what has also been really cool for me as a person with lived experience has been learning from the direct care staff that I worked side by side with inside of an institution. It's really cool when you're a peer support specialist inside of an inpatient facility. You are peer this way with the individuals receiving services, obviously, but you're also peer this way with your colleagues and the folks that you're delivering services side by side with. And what we realized was the way the system has been designed is not in favor of the folks delivering services and certainly not of the folks receiving services. So for us, co-design was really about bringing all of the voices to the table and really creating the equity for those who need it to be there, but including all of those voices and realizing that together and collaboratively, we can truly make something so beautiful that empowers recovery.
And the event is fully behind that position, actually, in bringing lived experience to the fore and bringing it to the conference so that people coming to it can learn from it. So we're most definitely all on the same page, which is fantastic. Now, workshops are really great experiences because there's a two-way exchange of knowledge, isn't there? You guys have a lot of information to impart, but your attendees as well will have things that they can share with you. So hopefully you will learn something from them. But what can attendees hope to gain from coming to your workshop at Design in Mental Health?
So we really want to engage everyone that's going to be at our session, and we're excited to share what we've done in the past. You really have to meet people where they are. And sometimes the default is meeting at a conference table at an architect's office or meeting on site where the building's going to be placed. And sometimes that's not where you are going to hear the voices that need to be amplified. So it's really meeting people where they're at. So we want to teach individuals different types of settings, ways to make it equitable, and also ways to make it safe so that people don't feel fear in sharing their experience. We've used different software tools, different mechanisms that can capture that voice without them feeling like there's a spotlight on them, but feeling like it's a conversation where they're appreciated and their feedback is important. So sometimes we don't tell people who is in the meeting. We don't put titles next to their names. It's first name basis, and we really want people to feel comfortable and confident in what they're sharing, and that it's not going to be used against them in any form or fashion, because there still is stigma out there for mental health, unfortunately. And that's not going to give you the best design or the best outcome for what you're working towards.
Yeah, one thing I think is so important in our work is the way, and Sydney captured that beautifully, is how we're creating equity for folks, how we're taking away the power dynamics at the table. There is a de facto power that exists for us as folks with lived experience, because y'all have some fancy acronyms after your name and a whole bunch of initials, and that can feel really intimidating. And so one thing I think, again, what Sydney touched on, the tools, the how. And I really want to empower folks to think differently about how we're including lived experience. Sometimes it's still new for a lot of us, right? And so sometimes we can be a bit one-dimensional in how we're thinking about it. And so we really want folks to feel empowered as they walk away, and including people with lived experience, thinking of it differently, and walking away with some fun tools on how to make it a truly collaborative and fun experience. It's design. It should be creative. It should be collaborative and fun. So we want to empower folks to be able to really embody that.
That sounds really exciting. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be beating their part of the way to your door to your workshop at the show. So what is something you're hoping to learn or gain insight on at this year's Design and Mental Health? How is the show going to enhance you and your professional lives?
I'm going to jump in here at first, and I'm going to say I'm going to be running around this conference, and I will be asking you, how are you incorporating lived experience? What does that really mean to you? Who are those folks? Where are you finding them? How are you making sure that they're comfortable and empowered at the table? And I'm also going to be finding my lived experience peers. Come find me. I would love to chit chat with you, because I would love to hear from you too. Do you feel that your voice is being included? Do you feel that there is that closed conversation and that you're being lifted in those spaces? And if there are ways that we can help collaborate there, we're certainly here for that. But I'm going to be running around and asking some questions. I'm here to learn and also challenge us just a little bit.
Yes, challenge us, please, because there's no perfect way to do this. Every single person that has lived experience, it's different. No one's is the exact same. And sometimes that's a complicated piece to this, but it's also the way that we can find a great balance of bringing in their voice, people with lived experience, and amplifying it, and bringing in the problem that we're solving, whether that's through design or a product, or how do we make something better like the system to serve the people with lived experience, and just make it easier to get great care. And that's what we want to work. We want to collaborate with everyone at the table and learn from everyone else, and also share what we can bring as well.
Amazing. I'm so looking forward to it, because getting people in a space all, with a common goal, and with similar experiences is just so powerful, isn't it? Because there's all sorts of idea sharing, and change making. Hopefully that's a great thing to see coming out of an event. So you are delivering your workshop, which again is called Amplifying Lived Experience with Co-Design, and that's taking place on the 3rd of June, the first day of the event. So anybody who wants to come and have a chat with you outside of your workshop, they're very welcome to come and find you, aren't they, on the exhibition floor?
Or Parker will find you.
Parker's going to hunt him down. We've already established that, haven't we? That's brilliant. So if you'd like to engage with Sydney and Parker, please do register to come to Design and Mental Health. The website, as I said, is designandmentalhealth.com. The workshop is open to anybody with a delegate pass for the event. Thank you so much for your time today. I've really enjoyed talking to you. I hope you have a safe journey over from the States to see us in Manchester in June. We look forward to seeing you there, and everybody watching this podcast will see you in Manchester in June for Design and Mental Health. Thank you for your time today.
Great. Thank you so much, Victoria.
Victoria.